The Sun Sentinel is, first of all, it's a shit rag. Like the first time I got an actual physical Sun Sentinel when I moved back to Florida, I read it. I went through it with a red pen. I found so many mistakes. Like it's really a shit rag. But they love her. And she basically runs their editorial board. The person who loves her runs their editorial board.
Yeah, Mr. Bouchette.
Like Buscetti, whatever, whatever. The head of the editorial board is up her arse.
Yes, he's like an 80-year-old man, and like everything else in politics, the geriatrics never leave. You basically have to remove them in a box.
Most definitely, Sabrina Salvati. Definitely recommend, but don't go right now because I think she's live too. Don't go yet. You can watch hers later. Okay.
Yeah. And so what they're already suggesting, this is again the form of manufacturing consent. Campaign poll shows Wasserman Schultz viewed favorably by Black voters, leading primary matchup. It is being suggested by the Sun Sentinel, led by Tony Mann, that Wasserman Schultz has the Black voter has a favorable opinion of her, and she has 52% of the vote as of right now. Now, if there's one thing that I think is safe to say about Debbie Wasserman Schultz is that her numbers can only go down. They can't go up. So if we scroll down, and this is what shit rags actually say about her. And one more thing. If you just scroll up on her picture for a second, what you will see, ladies and gentlemen, is that lovely yellow pin right under her pearl necklace, as in a legitimate pearl necklace. She is Israel Chai and very proud of it. Let's keep going.
Ugh.
Polls conducted for Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz's campaign. Again, these are internal polls. These are her polls. So we all know that the way it's being phrased is probably extremely favorable to her. She is viewed favorably by Black voters in the district where she seeks re-election, despite strenuous objection to her candidacy from Black candidates running for the same seat and some community leaders. Okay, timeout. So this is the first example of what manufacturing consent actually looks like. Yes, the candidates are rejecting her for obvious reasons, but you failed to mention right off the top that the Broward County Democratic Black Caucus firmly rejects her candidacy. Firmly rejects it. Does not want her running. Does not want her representing a district that already is hurting enough as it is. But the framing is, oh, it's just the candidates and some community leaders.
Can I show everyone what this piece of shit looks like?
Sure.
Okay. Guys.
Oh, Tony Mann.
Hold on. Wait, why is it not working for me?
I don't know.
Well, I don't see it. Do you see it?
I see it at the bottom.
All right. Well, I can't get it to add for some reason.
Okay.
But anywho, right. I was trying to like share that with people to see this piece of shit because he really is. Yes, guys. So this guy, and we've talked about him before when we've talked about the journal of yellow journalism, all the news that's fit to piss on. This guy, he's not a journalist. He's not a journalist. He's not a reporter. He's a mouthpiece for people like Debbie and other establishment tools that actually writes for this piece of shit newspaper. This is Anthony Mann. And let me be very, seriously, nobody should give him the time of day. He's garbage. He probably knows he's garbage, but he'll just come out and say whatever Debbie or whoever minions tell him to say. No integrity whatsoever. And that's the political reporter for the Sun Sentinel. So yeah, be familiar with these tools.
All right, so let's get back to the story. Polling conducted by the poll found that Wasserman Schultz, who is white, has higher favorability among African-American and Caribbean-American Democrats in the 20th Congressional District than she has among white voters. That's a hoot. Black voters' views increase her overall favorability among Democrats to 80%. Among the poll's other findings, Wasserman Schultz would win the Democratic primary with a majority of the vote and not, as some of her primary foes and community activists have warned, by finishing in first place, but not with a majority in a crowded primary field. Wasserman
Yep.
Schultz had 52% of the primary vote in the survey. 7 other candidates had a combined total of 43% of the vote, and another 5% were undecided. It was a gratifying result. It's demonstrative of the fact that I have been immersed in the African American and Caribbean American communities in Broward for years. I have shown up. I have been.
Oh, yes, that's what you do. You show up and bully them and bribe them and threaten them and use them and pay off their pastors. That's how you show up, and that's how the majority of them see you.
Correct.
So, nice way to show up.
I have been at the events and organizations and church services and festivals and marches. This is, again, she's not talking about any policy. There is not a single policy that's being discussed here. No. This is all about showmanship or showwomanship if she's...
Photo ops. Photo ops.
I have shown up, and showing up matters. Boy, she really doesn't hide it. The poll was conducted by EMC Research for Wasserman Schultz's campaign. Again, I don't know who EMC Research is, which provided results of several questions to the South Florida Sun Sentinel.
Bet you anything, it's a company affiliated with Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Well, let's look
Democratic
let's see who EMC Research is. Help organizations build stronger brands, blah, blah, blah. I'm not seeing anything in particular right now, but you know what I don't know? I don't know what type of questions are being asked. I don't know if there's any addressing any of the other candidates in the race, which if they are, they're not naming them directly. So
Debbie does her own polls, uses whatever company she uses. Probably somebody in the WCCC gets paid a lot of money to put out a poll that makes it skewed like that. They put this out so that it's sort of that psychological effect that it has on people. When they see that somebody's going to be the winner, they support them. Most people are inclined to support the winner. They put out this absolute bullshit, okay? Because it's not true. That's not a legitimate poll. It just isn't. There's no fucking way that district, which by the way is 80% Black, and Debbie doesn't live in that district, that more than half the people there prefer her to any of 6 other Black candidates.
And they've never been represented by her before, ever. There's that.
Yeah, she's full of shit. This poll is shit, which is why you would need somebody like Tony Mann to propagate your shit. Because an actual journalist would probably look at that poll and look at the methodology and realize that it was garbage and wouldn't post it like somehow it's a legitimate poll. But I know that. And you know that too, don't you, Tony? You whore.
So that's one leg. Colin, can I have the next one, please?
Oh,
okay. I see. So apparently Debbie decided to sit down for an interview.
It's never good. Never looks good.
Back, Democrats were already grappling with the fallout from the release of the party's 2024 election autopsy report. And now they're dealing with the new candid admissions from what we were just talking about from former First Lady Jill Biden on her husband's debate performance during that campaign, casting a cloud over Democrats as they try to take control of Congress in November. Joining me now is Democratic Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz of Florida, who is running for re-election. Congresswoman, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure, Kristen. Thanks for having me.
I would like to start with these new comments by the former First Lady Jill Biden this week. She said she was frightened when former President Joe Biden had that 2024 debate performance. And of course, right after the debate, she came out. She said she thought that he had done a great job. I wonder what you say to voters who hear these new revelations and feel like they were misled.
Well, what I think voters have been saying for the past year, Kristen, in nearly every special election that's taken place across the country, is that they reject the direction that Donald Trump and his MAGA extremists have taken this country, and they repeatedly elected Democratic candidates.
This woman is 59 years old, and she looks like she's 79.
She's older than that. She's 5 years older than me, right?
She's
So
59.
she could be 60.
Well, she's turning 60 this year.
Oh, okay. So right now she's only, wow. I thought she was, oh, wow.
Mhm.
Debbie.
In many cases, in overwhelmingly or previously held Republican seats. So it's that they're sending a strong message that they want to make sure that we move forward, that they have candidates who are talking about the issues that matter the most to them, which frankly, from my perspective, representing my constituency, it's very clear they want to focus singularly on making their life more affordable.
I can't watch this for long. I'm telling you right now, Debbie,
gas,
Debbie,
electricity.
stop this shit. 2 words for you, Debbie. Hyaluronic acid. Seriously. Hyaluronic acid. I shouldn't give you that clue.
And
but
Republicans are totally out of touch.
Congresswoman,
As
we are
evidenced
going
by Donald Trump saying that he doesn't care about that.
We are going to talk about the midterms in just a moment, but I want to stay on this topic and these new revelations by the former First Lady. She said she was so
concerned about the cost of living, about life being unaffordable. It was not
into the 2014
things that when you really take a deep dive and look at them, at what things you could have handled better and how you can improve for the future, you're going to have regret. You're going to have frustration. And that frustration is obviously trained on the entity that has produced the report. And the important thing to do is not engage in finger pointing. We have to pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, which
I can't. Not to engage in finger pointing from the woman who all she does is point fingers at everybody else.
Trump's fault.
I cannot stomach this. I cannot watch this. I cannot watch this anymore. I'm gonna fucking red.
Hold on. All right. So here's where we should have started, but here we go.
God.
For re-election in a majority black district under Florida's newly redistricted map, which is drawing some criticism. I want to read part of a statement signed by 10 of the 15 elected members of the Florida DNC. Let you respond to it. It says, quote, at a time when the Supreme Court has gutted the Voting Rights Act, this decision, referring to your decision to run, reinforces the same message Republicans have pushed for years, that black representation does not matter. How do you respond to that allegation, Congresswoman?
I show up.
Well, Kristen, first, this is a majority-minority district, just like the one that I represent now.
Bullshit.
You're a liar.
You're
a liar.
The numbers are look upable. She's insane.
I want to teach you all. There is a thing, as silly as this is, but I'll explain. The Cubans and the Venezuelans that live in the congressional district that she has represented for the past decade plus, the part of that district that she's represented, these are white Hispanics.
Affluent. White. It's affluent.
Affluent white Hispanics, including where she lives, which is in Weston, or Westonzuela, as it has been known for many years now.
Oh my God.
The very people that would be cheering on Maduro's removal, those are the rich psychos that live there, just like the rich psycho Cubans in Miami who cheer on anything that we do to crush the lives of anybody living in Cuba today. It's the same thing. So when she talks like this, but again, she's a sociopath, so she doesn't care. Whatever is good for her goose is good for the gander as long as it works for her. That's
She's so ridiculous.
Beyond ridiculous.
She is so
I represent
ridiculous.
a district now that is 42% Hispanic and 18% Black, and the rest non-Hispanic, white, and other. This district is 42% Black and 20% Hispanic. So I have represented a majority-minority district for years. I know how to stand up for, fight for, and represent diverse communities. And the feedback that I am getting all across Congressional District 20 has been enthusiastic and supportive, because they know this is a community. This is a district that knows me. I've represented 9 of the 14 cities in this district. They know me, and I know them. And
this is all they can say. Well, this is all she can say.
I
the matter is, she has never represented.
It's so grotesque.
She has never represented these people before. She is trying desperately to stay in power. The reason she is most likely going to stay in power is two reasons. One, she's already got $2.5 million behind her for this very impoverished Black majority district.
And exactly, this is the difference. The minority of that's what Peter was saying. The minority of what she speaks that's in her current district is not a vulnerable minority, let us say. Okay, this is a class situation, so it is completely different.
The fact that she would come out there and say all across the district they're supporting my efforts to do this.
Fuck, they are right. You thought they aren't.
The Black caucus of the Democratic Black Caucus of Broward County has repeatedly said, get the fuck out of this race. So for her to say that this doesn't matter, it doesn't matter to her.
No.
Only thing that matters to Debbie Wasserman Schultz is Debbie Wasserman Schultz. That is all that's ever mattered to her. This is a person who you can clearly see. First of all, she's the ultimate carpetbagger. This is all she's ever known. When someone says, oh, she's carpetbagging into District 20, where in the flying fuck do you think she comes from? She is from the North Shore of Long Island. Decided to go to the most Jewish university in the United States by a wide margin, which is the University of Florida. Not a lot of people know that. And then once she's there, she makes her Tallahassee connection to one of the biggest Zionist pieces of shit who ever lived in Peter Deutsch, who represented the State House district in Broward County that she went to work for as a legislative aide in 1988 when she was in her early 20s. And so, of course, transition out of college, goes right to work in the State House. He decides to go into Congress and he bequeaths this seat to her. She doesn't fight for it, didn't do a thing. And then when he decides to retire from Congress 12 years later, what does he do? The same thing again, bequeaths the congressional seat right to her, and she has never had to fight for anything. And if you think that's bad enough, no, I ain't done yet. It turns out that I
just want you to say his name. Just say his name.
Stop it and let me continue. The fact of the matter is this congressional district that she was representing went from what was a plus 10, plus 11, that she was only winning by 8 points, so she was losing ground in that district. Now it's a plus 4 or 5R, but it's a new district, new constituents. She is the representative who's been there for decades. She's got millions of dollars to her name. And in a swing election year where the Blues are going to have a much easier time picking off swing district seats, what does she decide to do? No, I am not going to actually fight for my seat. I am going to leave this seat. I am going to carpetbag again into a Black dominant district. And on top of that, they have all been lining up simultaneously saying, stop this, stop this, stop this. And you know who doesn't come out and say anything? Apoc Shakur Hakeem Jeffries doesn't say anything. Jim Clyburn doesn't say anything. Maxine Waters doesn't say anything.
Wait. I'm waiting for Jasmine to go down and endorse her.
So when we say we don't have sympathy for the Democratic Party or for anybody who's going to suffer from this, this is why. We put our blood, sweat, and tears into this. We have reminded you constantly about how evil, disgusting, depraved, and sadistic this woman is. There is nothing she will not do for power. There is nothing she will not do for control. And it's one thing that she has been the top insider trader on Capitol Hill 2 of the last 3 congressional terms. If that's not bad enough, this is a person who sits side by fucking side with Satanyahu Milikowski. You think that's not enough? Do you think I could possibly go even further? Let's see if I can pull this little photo up here. Let's see if I can add this in. Okay. I am now going to present to you a photograph that was done within the last couple of weeks. Last couple of weeks, that's when this photo was done. So pay attention.
Wait, she's coming out.
As you can see, because you can't miss that ramen noodle hairstyle,
Oh,
Wasserman Schultz
God.
is on the end. Do you see who the person is who's sitting right smack dab in the middle? That's President Herzog of Israel.
Of course. And she's
This is
still wearing a fucking yellow ribbon. Debbie, who is still missing? Who's still missing? I know who's missing. I don't know, maybe 11,000 Palestinian hostages that are being held. I know they're missing. Who are you wearing a yellow ribbon for? Or is yours a noose too?
It's
Psycho.
probably, I mean, if it's not the noose, she can't wear the noose, but she can say that, you know, I'm signaling that that's what I'm wearing.
I can't with her. It's
And if you
so-
want, and if you want the creme a la creme.
Wait,
above
can I
all
at least get any comment in about as to why this is going to be a problem and why Debbie is going to win?
Sure.
Because that is what people aren't really going to understand. You're on a rampage rage, which is I very fully support, but people are not necessarily seeing the link as to why would Debbie be able to win a district where she doesn't live that's 80% Black district? How could that happen? Well, it could happen because there's like 6 Black people in the district in that primary with Debbie. So think about it, right? They all split a whole bunch of votes and she ends up winning with like 12%, not like 20% or whatever it is that, you know, she would get. And that's how it happens. And she knows that. And she knew that. And that was why this has all been planned for a while. This is not new. She's planning this for a while. I think it has to do with why there was an ethics investigation into Sheila Sherfilis McCormick. I think that there's a lot of things that she was putting into play, knowing that this was going to be her move. And it's a good move. And maybe she'll win. She might win. And that will be the absolute end of her. Because when she wins that seat, they'll run her out. They'll run her out. They'll realize that this is not going to work. I do believe that. I don't think they're going to get out of their own way right now. I think there's too many people in that race. There's too much ego in that race that they don't want to think about strategy, and everybody in that race is just has their moral reasons. And it's just not going to work. And that's the problem. And she knows it. I also think that that's why a bunch of them are in that race. I think that she pays to put people in races.
1,000%.
I think that she creates, right. So there's going to be people in that race that are her tools.
Correct. Dummy candidates is what they're called.
Yes.
And
so all of those things are going on. Yeah.
I'm putting this out there right now. I'm just saying it because I have to say it. The only person who can beat her is Sheila Sherfilis McCormick, who is the sitting congresswoman. She's been there for 3 terms. She is mired in scandal, but I'm telling you right now, it smells really bad that it was a hit job by Wasserman Schultz. If you really dig into what the full circumstances are regarding the money, it is, again, on
it's
the surface,
questionable, and we're not vouching for anybody. That's not what we're doing.
But what I am suggesting is that no one is stealing $5 million and thinking they're going to get away with it. Not possible.
That's not true. I don't agree. I think people steal all sorts of stuff. I'm not vouching one way or another for Sheila. This is not what I'm talking about. I know Sheila personally and I like her. This is not the point. What I'm saying to people in that district, if anybody in that district wants to not have Debbie, you need to consolidate behind Sheila.
It's your only
shot. You just do.
And I'll tell you why. And this goes to Luther Campbell. This goes to Elijah Manley. That goes to anybody else who's in the race. None of you are going to even sniff her ass when it comes to fundraising. So this is what Debbie's going to do. Debbie is going to blanket the district with endless amounts of money. She is going to bribe
and threaten
as many elected officials, as many pastors, as
community
many
leaders,
county commissioners as she could possibly get her hands on. And
not just them, by the way. Wait a second. NGOs, nonprofit organizations, you name it. She's going to bully them, bribe them, blackmail them to get in there. And a whole bunch of people are going to split the vote.
Correct. And so Sheila has one thing going for her that actually, well, she's got two things going for her that actually will make her formidable. Not only is she a Black woman,
No.
but she has been the congressional representative of these people. 85% of this district is the district she's been representing for the last 6 years. So they already know her. When Debbie says, oh, they know me and I know them, no, they know Sheila and Sheila knows them, and she's one of them. On top of that, when you are talking about the incumbent advantage, that is everything in politics in many cases. So when you have a person that they've already been electing into office that's running for the seat again, and now this other person's trying to come in there and do it, I would tell Sheila, listen, at the end of the day, you want to beat her, you better get in the mud with her, because that's the only way it's going to work. You have to tell these people that this white bread Zio bitch is trying to come into our Black neighborhoods and try to make our lives even worse than they already are. You better be talking about the fact that this woman is known as the payday lending queen. Of all the things that she's done since she's been in South Florida, she has done more damage to the Black community than the Republicans could ever hope to do to them.
Exactly.
He's done it.
Exactly.
And that has to stick. That's not the only thing. One of the worst aspects, because I've lived in the hood. I may be the all-American white guy, but I can fucking assure you, I've lived there for years. I know what this is like. What you absolutely cannot deny when you're living in these communities, these convenience stores, these areas that are focused on alcohol, that are focused on drugs, that are focused on
food deserts. They're
unhealthy
food
deserts. She is responsible for this. Who do you think funds her campaigns? Southern Wine and Spirits. Look into them and see how much money they've given her over the years. Look at the big pharmaceuticals and how much money they give her. And on top of everything else, when you want to talk about why your kids are dying in the streets, they're dying for the military-industrial complex. And of course, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, not to be outdone, when it comes to Northrop Grumman, when it comes to Lockheed Martin, when it comes to General Dynamics, no one loves Debbie more than they do. And this is why, when you want to talk about what makes Debbie as evil and conniving and sociopathic as you can possibly be, this is her response regarding the war in Iran before it started up again.
Curious to know what you make of what you just heard Alex lay out of the current framework on the table for the Trump administration and Iran.
Well, Pamela, thanks for having me. And, I can tell you through the lens of my constituents that they are saying to me, stop the ride. We want to get off. I mean, this is an incredibly chaotic, really unpredictable, topsy-turvy process that Donald Trump doesn't seem to have any control over. And, there's nobody with their hand on the tiller. And that's why gas prices have increased over $2 in the state of Florida, and in some cases even more across the country. We have small businesses and individuals who have tremendous pain that they're experiencing economically, to say nothing of the increase in the cost of diesel fuel, which is obviously
like you would know a thing about diesel fuel.
Driven up the cost of really being able to run businesses and deliver goods.
So now, I hear this all the time. You want to talk about somebody who truly is a career politician, who has never had a job in their life outside of politics. You're looking at her. She has been in this racket for almost 35 years, and she's not even 60 years old yet. Amazing, isn't it?
This is the pain that Donald Trump's out of control war in Iran has caused is unacceptable. And I am concerned and frustrated over, again, another potential deal, a negotiation where we're going to unfreeze Iranian assets and give them billions of dollars to.
Oh my God, you psycho bigoted cunt. Yes, because it's their money. What happened is, Debbie, is they paid us a whole bunch of money for a whole bunch of weapons that we never gave them, and then we still held on to their money. Yeah, that's exactly what that is. Why are you doing this to me tonight?
We'll finish it up.
I feel like I'm having high blood pressure.
control proxies again and to rebuild their ballistic missile program, never mind their drone program, which is incredibly deadly, and they've been increasing their drone capability. So this is deeply concerning. And look, I'm glad that Iran, their capability militarily has been degraded, but if what we get from this initial deal is just going back to where we were before, where Iran did not control the Strait of Hormuz, then what has been accomplished?
Oh my God. Debbie, if you weren't such a cunt, I swear I'd go bless your heart. Iran's military is not remotely degraded. Iran is so prepared. Our military is wasting. We waste more money defending against their missiles than they spend on their missiles. See, and they have it all calculated out. They have it all figured out. And they could go on for years. And they're prepared for shortages and everything because they've lived hard with sanctions. They're used to that.
Oh, yeah.
See, we're the people in this country, your constituents, they're going to be fucked. But you don't really care, right?
As I said,
Raytheon and Northrop Grumman. How much could you really care about the war, Debbie?
this is exactly the reason why when I say that my blood pressure goes up, I get excited because I know evil when I see it. The only speech, the speech that Debbie just gave is the speech of somebody who was bought and paid for by the military industrial complex.
Well, and is a bigot. Is a bigot.
Of course she's a bigot. That goes without saying. Anybody who's a Zionist is a bigot.
Well, she's very much like a white supremacist, a Jewish supremacist. I mean, she's up there in she's Nazi category in terms of her fascist level and her war hawkedness and all of that. I mean, she really is. She's fascist. And yet sits there and talks like somehow Trump is the problem. But don't get me wrong, Trump is a problem. But
he is a problem.
It's so ironic to watch her.
Yeah. He's not the problem, but he is a big problem.
He is a problem.
So with that being said, you know where I stand. You know where Jen stands. Guys, get your act together in District 20.
Seriously. This is what I'll know. Okay. This is what we'll know. You will either coalesce in the best interest of that district. Think strategically, look at money and think strategically and smart, take your ego out of it for a minute, or you're getting Debbie Wasserman Schultz. And you guys are going to all look like ridiculous bitches of hers. That could even happen.
Nope.
And the fact, and I want people to think of this, and I was saying this today to Mo, how infuriating this is. I want people in the Black community in that district to understand how little Debbie thinks of you. She thinks so fucking little of you.
So dumb.
She thinks you're so dumb and gullible that she can work this out and get your district easier than her fighting for a few points in the district that she's already been in for 25 years. That's how stupid she thinks you are and how gullible. And so she's going to go into District 20 and do all her shenanigans. There'll be little nice fake candidates. There'll be all sorts of scandals. She'll have it all going on. And if she wins, what that says to me is that you all couldn't get out of your own way. Hopefully, if that does happen, you will regroup and get it together for 2 years later. Because there is no excuse for that woman winning an 80% Black district that she doesn't live in.